Goals of sexual trauma therapy. When are you done? I think that we focus on the wrong thing when we say that we need to get over sexual assault. What most survivors, in my experience at least, really mean by that statement is that they want to get free of it. And that's something we can all believe in. But what's free? And how do we know when we've helped our clients accomplish that goal? How does someone get free of a history of assault? I can't give a comprehensive universal answer to the question, but I can tell you what components I usually see in someone who is feeling free of their abusive past. For one, they know who they are outside of the assault. They are not defined by it. They have their own goals, their own identity that's untainted by the abuse. Yes, it is possible to have that, and please feel free to tell your survivors that it's possible. You can help your clients get there by teaching them when to deal with their abuse and when to choose to be free of it. Encourage them that they can have a memory, control it, and choose to move forward with their day. Help them practice leaving the flashbacks and the discussion of their trauma in the therapy office, and not to dwell on it in everyday life. The latter is not something that's really possible at the beginning of therapy, but when you get close to a state of healing, you will notice your clients being more and more able to do this. Encourage them to develop outside interests and goals for their future, unrelated to the assault, such as further education, career attainments, friendships, or long-term romantic relationships that are healthy. Some of the goals my clients have developed after recovering from different abusive relationships are things like deciding to take in foster children, buying a house, going to graduate school, and more. Another component is that they have a firm grasp of their story. They can recount the assault to safe people and not experience flashbacks. They've stripped away from their story the false guilt and blame and placed the wrongdoing squarely on the perpetrator's shoulders, which is where it belongs. As you can see, it is necessary that you fully explore the story of their abusive situation with them before coming to this point, as we discussed in the previous video. Some therapists might disagree with the necessity of exploring the story, but regardless, I believe the rest of the characteristics of this milestone do need to be accomplished. A survivor is not finished with therapy if he or she cannot appropriately disclose their abuse history to significant relationships in their lives. They are not finished with it if they consistently still blame themselves for the assault. If you see this happening, invite them back into therapy to address it. They have boundaries. They don't allow unsafe people into their lives, and they don't let anyone walk all over them. They challenge themselves, but they don't push beyond their limits. They take care of themselves on a regular basis. They do not do anything sexually that they don't want to do, and they don't have sex out of the idea that they owe someone it. This is often something you work at near the end of therapy and is a sign you're nearing the end. A client of mine chose to limit interactions with her mother, who ignored and enabled abuse from her stepfather for years, because she had reached the point where she respected herself enough to do that. Your client may need to stand up to a rude boss, end a romantic relationship, or learn to say no to sex in a healthy relationship, just because they can. When they can do those kinds of things and not beat themselves up for having good boundaries, you know that they're getting close to being ready to conclude. Finally, they've found a way to grow from it. Please don't misunderstand me in thinking I expect anyone to ever feel grateful for the assault. If a client is grateful for some reason, I definitely applaud the courage in that, but I also don't think there's anything wrong with always wishing you hadn't gone through it. But survivors who have gotten free have reclaimed something about their assault or abuse that is theirs. They become sexual assault advocates. They write a book or they write poetry, they create art, they protect someone else. They didn't get to choose what happened to them, but they chose what came out of it. If you see this kind of thing in your client, reward it and point it out to them. In all likelihood, they don't even realize that's what they're doing, which is why it's so important to share with them the significance of what's happening. It's incredibly rewarding as a therapist to watch your client have this kind of realization of the enormity of their accomplishment. So I recommend reinforcing it whenever possible, for your sake and theirs. I have thoroughly enjoyed sharing some of my experience with you of working as a sexual trauma therapist. I really appreciate your feedback with this new facet of the Beginning Counselor blog. If you'd like to see more technique-oriented posts like this in the future, just let me know. Comment on the YouTube video post or on the blog comments below, and say, yes, I'd like some more technique posts, including your comments what specifically you want to know more about. I doubt that I'll be able to address each topic, but I can reach out to guest bloggers who are experts in those areas and perhaps get some feedback from them. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say, and I just encourage you once again, comment below. Can't wait to hear from you.